When you ask yourself, where do ideas for new laws come from? You may be surprised to find that a group that has a specific agenda may be writing laws that will directly or indirectly affect your life. One of these groups is known as a lobbyist, and they are everywhere, from your local politicians to Washington, D.C. Lobbyists have been around since the beginning of the United States of America, but for many years they focused on government at the state level. For example, municipalities, state senates, and the governors, because during this time, state legislation was more focused on economic issues which concerned their constituents. It is believed that during Ulysses S. Grant's presidency, around 1869, when the federal government began taking more interest in state laws and economic issues, did the lobbyists begin expanding to Washington, D.C. and spending more money at the federal level. There is currently close to 12,000 registered lobbyists in Washington, D.C. today. These groups are spending over $3 billion a year on advocating their beliefs and writing legislation. Yes, writing legislation that our legislators will put forward to become laws for the United States. Lobbying government is not illegal in the United States of America. It is actually protected by the First Amendment, which guarantees the ability of individuals, groups, and corporations to lobby the government. I just believe that our forefathers never expected lobbyists to wield the power over government officials that they do today. Cigarette companies won many battles during the 1950s, 60s, and 70s due to the fact that their lobbyists carried great clout in Washington. They were catered to by the same people that were expected to regulate them. And the FTC even pushed for the cigarette companies to be allowed to self-regulate themselves. This is like letting your child play with firecrackers without any adult supervision. This self-regulation allowed millions of Americans to stay in the dark about the harmful effects of cigarette smoke, which in turn has led to many premature deaths in America. Big oil has kept lobbyist money flowing into politics at both the state and federal level for many years as well. Throughout history, big oil lobbyists have helped protect the rights of oil companies without any regard to the effects of their actions on the environment or the Americans that live near these facilities. Oil fracking is considered the new oil boom for America. Oil companies say that this is helping lower gas prices, and I believe it's helping oil companies increase profits while using up our natural resources that are becoming scarcer and are much more important to human survival, such as our water. Oil lobbyists are still lobbying for a bill to allow them to construct a pipeline through the heartland of America. This oil will be refined in America, exported to other nations, keeping gas prices in the U.S. at optimum profit levels for oil companies and creating more potential pollution. Defense Department contractors are notorious large lobbying groups. They have fought every year to have the defense budget increased. Our government buys things that cost more each than some countries' total GDP. I'm not against having the greatest military in the world. I am against our government being in bed with the people that are selling these products. The new leader in the game of lobbying is the financial industry. In 2008, their unsound and risky financial behaviors created a worldwide recession, which some countries, including the United States of America, have yet to fully recover from. The U.S. government reacted by bailing them out with our taxpayer dollars, then implementing some new regulations. The financial industry did not take these new regulations lying down. They have fought back by spending close to $350 million on lobbying politicians in 2014 alone. You may ask yourself, why should this concern me? If your retirement is in the stock market, your retirement is in their hands. If they are allowed to run their businesses with reckless abandon again, your retirement may have to wait, or you may have to retire with less money than you deem necessary. Some financial lobbyists have even proposed taking over Social Security. Can you imagine letting the people that we had to bail out of financial disaster running Social Security? Public money in the hands of people that feel little recourse for ruining people's lives? I don't know about you, but this horrifies me. Lobbying government is not always bad for America. Some lobbyists actually seek to improve the American experience. Renewable energy companies are becoming a larger lobbying group. I believe that renewable energy is our future, and we must have our government getting more involved. We will never be able to take lobbyists fully out of American politics, and I am not proposing we do such a thing. Lobbying by an individual, a group of individuals, or a corporation is a right we are given by the Constitution. I just want the playing field to be leveled out for all Americans. Big money has held the upper hand for too long in America. Corporations are in the business of creating wealth for their shareholders, which is what they were meant to do. And they should continue doing this, but not at the expense of the American people or our environment. Lobbyists need to be more closely regulated, and politicians need to see past the dollars that lobbyists bring to the table. The increasing cost of getting into and holding a seat in politics has forced many politicians to seek out lobbyists' help. This needs to be broached, and new ways for politicians to find funding must be found. As America moves through the 21st century, we can only hope that American voices, rich and poor, will be heard equally through the fog of money that is being pushed into Washington every day. Lobbyist dollars should not speak any louder than the voices of the people for which they were elected to represent.